Happy Friday, Class 3 and Class 4. Welcome to your reading session for today. So today we're going to do a bit of reading comprehension. We're going to do the other part of what we looked at last Friday. So the street party advert is there for you again to have a little look at. As I said last week, I can't read it to you because if we were doing a reading paper, I wouldn't be allowed to. And I'd like you to have a go as if it was a reading paper. So, your questions. How is the Frothy Coffee Shop helping the party attract lots of people? Prizes generously donated. Which of these words mean the same as donated? Given, bought, or won? Number 3. When will you find out if you've won the raffle? Number 4. Who will announce the winner of the raffle? Number 5. Why is Splat the Rat an easy phrase to remember? And number 6. What is going to happen if the weather is bad? So pause me now, and then when you're ready, unpause me and we'll go through the answers. Okay, so the Frothy Coffee Shop are helping because they are donating a raffle prize. The word donated is the same as given. So if you donate a prize, you've given it for free. You've not asked for any money. When will you find out if you've won the raffle? You'll find out at 5:30 p.m. Who will announce the winner of the raffle? The mayor's wife. Splat the rat. It's an easy phrase to remember because it rhymes. And if the weather is bad, they are going to hold it in the school hall. Good morning, Class 3 and Class 4. Good morning. We're on Friday, the 3rd of July. Today is just your little grammar activity. So we're going to go through some bits together and then there's just a little activity for you to do at the end by yourself. And today we're looking at using descriptive fronted adverbials. Okay, so firstly, we've got a table here, and the table we've got, it says when, where, and how often. At the bottom, we've got a range of fronted adverbials there. We've got on Tuesday, after a while, above the bed, daily, over there, next year. Now, each of those are fronted adverbials that can start your sentences. However, they all add extra details in a different way. Some of them add extra information by telling you when something can happen, where it can happen, or how often it could happen. So I want you to have a little think. You could draw that table in your book and have a go at placing those in the table yourself, and then press pause whilst you do that, and then press play when you're ready to see the answers. Okay, so here are the answers then, guys. So, on Tuesday, next year, and after a while, they all tell us when something is happening. We've got over there and above the bed. They're using prepositions within those phrases, within those adverbials. So they all tell us where something is. And then the one that I always find a little bit tricky is the how often one, which is daily. If you use the word daily at the start of a sentence, you're telling the reader that the next thing you talk about happens every day, and that's telling us how often it happens. Okay, so now we need to have a little look at these two sentences here. And I want you to find the fronted adverbial that tells us how something happened. Okay, so I'll read them out to you. Courageously, the firefighter re-entered the burning building to check for any other people inside. That's the first one. And the second one. On Tuesday, the firefighter re-entered the burning building to check for any other people inside. So both of them, the main part of the sentence there is the same. The only thing that's different is the fronted adverbial. So one of them starts with courageously and one of them starts with on Tuesday. So which of those tells us how something happened? Of course, it's courageously. Courageously tells us that the firefighter re-entered the burning building with courage. So courageously, that tells us how he entered it. The on Tuesday one tells us when. Okay, in your book, I would love you to have a go at rewriting this sentence, but I want you to replace that fronted adverbial neatly using an antonym. If a synonym means another word that's different but with the same meaning, then an antonym is a different word, it's the opposite to this. So I want you to think of a word with an opposite meaning. So what would be the opposite of doing something neatly? How else could you start that? So neatly, Isabel finished her sewing and folded it up on the table.
So an antonym is going to be an opposite word to this. So can you think of a different fronted adverbial that means the opposite to neatly? So you could have a variety of answers there, but here are just some as an example. You could have scruffily, Isabel finished her sewing and folded it up on the table, or we could say untidily, Isabel finished her sewing. Okay, so which of the fronted adverbials here would be able to fit into the sentence to tell us how the verb takes place? Okay, so after a word that tells us how the verb takes place. So, blank, he handed in his essay and marched out of the lecture hall. So which of those words would make sense? Which of those fronted adverbials would make sense there? We've got over there, he handed in his essay. Rarely, he handed in his essay. Or confidently, he handed in his essay. You don't have to write anything down for this one, but just have a think about which one you think would go there. And the correct answer for that would be confidently. So confidently, he handed in his essay and marched out of the lecture hall. We know it can't be over there because that doesn't tell us how he handed something in. That tells us where he handed something in. Rarely would tell us how often. So if something is rare, that means it doesn't happen often. Okay, so if you rarely do something, that means you don't do it often at all. But confidently can tell us how someone does something. Okay, I'd like to now have a little look at these two sentences here. So we've got A and B, and which of these are the most appropriate clauses that could follow this fronted adverbial. So sleepily, what will come next? A or B? A is, the little girl crawled up to her bed for it had been a very long day. Or B, the girls jumped on their bikes and rode off down the lane to meet their friends. Which one? Okay, so sleepily tells us how the little girl did something, and you're not going to sleepily jump on your bike, really, so it makes much more sense if she sleepily crawled up to her bed for it had been a very long day. Well done if you got that. Okay, so your task for today then, guys, is just 3 little activities for you. The first 2, really short and simple, and then for the third one, you can make it as long or as difficult and challenging as you like. So number 1, I want you to replace the underlined fronted adverbial using an antonym, so remember the opposite. So steadily, Hafsa balanced on the beam and prepared to perform her routine. So think about if steadily is telling you how someone's doing something, so how they're balancing, and we want it to be the opposite meaning of steadily. Number 2, rewrite the sentence below with the you can't see the top of the D there, with the adverbial at the beginning. So in this sentence, the adverbial isn't fronted, it's not at the start. So can you change it so that your fronted adverbial is at the start, or that your adverbial becomes fronted adverbial? So the children nervously entered the abandoned house and explored the haunted rooms. So the verb there to begin with is entered. How have they done that, and where do you need to put that word for it to become a fronted adverbial? And then number 3, I'd like to write a story opener using a range of descriptive adverbials, fronted adverbials, using this little sneaky hippo here, lurking in a lagoon. Okay, so have a little play around with that and think and see if you can come up with the most descriptive and effective story starter. Okay, good luck with that then, guys. These 3 tasks can be done in your book, and have fun and have a great weekend. And I'll see you next week. Bye.
Good morning, guys. Today, on the 3rd of July, you are going to be looking at using your multiplication skills and your times tables to scale. Now, don't stress. We have explored this slightly before, but it's a lot simpler than it sounds. Okay, so watch the video and enjoy, and then have a go at the activity afterwards.
Hello, in today's lesson, we're going to look at applying our knowledge of multiplication and division to some problems. Here we've got a situation. Whitney has some fruit. You see some cherries and some bananas. In fact, she's only got 1 cherry, hasn't she? And she's got 3 bananas. Okay. She has how many times as many bananas as cherries? Times as many. We're going to be thinking about that phrase and what that means a lot today. You might think it's 2 times as many because she's got 2 more bananas than cherries. But let's think about what 2 times as many means. And we've heard the word times, haven't we? 2 times 2 is 4, for example. So times as many means multiply by 2. So if we multiplied the number of Whitney's cherries by 2, would we get the number of bananas? No, we wouldn't. Because 1 cherry times 2 is 2 cherries. So what do we need to multiply that 1 cherry by to get the same number of cherries as bananas? We need to multiply it by 3, don't we? We started with 1 cherry, we started with 3 bananas. That means that Whitney has 3 times as many bananas as cherries. Let's apply that here with some different amounts of fruit. So Whitney now has got 2 cherries. Let's count up our bananas. She's got 8 bananas this time. So she has how many times as many bananas as cherries? So what we need to think about is, what have we got to times 2 by those 2 cherries to get up to 8 bananas? So that's really what we're asking. 2 times something is equal to 8. If we said she's got 2 times as many bananas as cherries, we'd be saying that 2 times 2 is equal to 8, which it's not. If we said 3 times as many bananas, we'd be saying 2 times 3 is equal to 8, which it's not. But if we said 2 times 4, that would be correct, because 2 times 4 is equal to 8, so she's got 4 times as many bananas as cherries. To get cherries up to the same number as bananas, we'd have to have 4 times the number that we've got at the moment. We'd have to have 2 times 4. We could see this in a bar model as well. Here we've got pencils and rubbers. How many pencils do you think we've got? We've got 5 pencils and we've got 1 rubber. So how many times as many pencils as rubbers do we have? What would we have to multiply the number of rubbers by to get up to the number of pencils? There's the number of rubbers, 1, and the number of pencils, 5. How many times 1 rubber would we need to get up to the same number as pencils? We'd need 5, wouldn't we? So there are 5 times as many pencils as rubbers. How about in this situation? We've got some crayons and we've got some pens. Let's label up how many crayons have we got. We've got 6 crayons. We've got 2 pens. So how many times the number of pens that we've got would we need to get up to the same number as crayons? That's the question, isn't it? We've got 2 pens, we've got 6 crayons, 2 times something is equal to 6. How many lots of the pens would we need to get up to the same number as crayons? Well, we know 2 times 3 is equal to 6. So we've got 3 times as many crayons as pens. Think about the examples we've looked at together. Pause the video and have a go at completing those 2 questions. Question 1. We've got 4 girls and we've got 1 boy. So we've got 4 times as many girls as boys. Question 2, we've got more boys than girls, haven't we? We've got 2 girls and 4 boys. So what do I need to times 2 by to get up to 4? It's 2, isn't it? 2 times 2 is equal to 4. So there are 2 times as many boys as girls. If you've got the White Rose Maths worksheet for this lesson, you're now ready to have a go at the first 3 questions on it. If not, have a look at the BBC Bite Size website for this lesson. There's more of the video to go, so please keep watching. Let's think a bit more about this idea of times as many, because here we know we've got 2 elephants, but we don't know the number of giraffes, but we do know we've got 5 times as many giraffes. So remember, we don't have 7 giraffes. It's not simply a case of adding on 5 to 2. We need to explore what this times more than means. So let's show in a bar model. Elephants, we've got 2. And we've got 5 times as many giraffes. So we've got 1 box for our elephants. How many boxes do you think we're going to have for our giraffes? We're going to have 5 boxes for our giraffes. Does that mean we've got 5 giraffes? Well, no, because we did have 1 box for the elephants, but in that elephant box is the number 2. So what number do you think we're going to put in each of the giraffe boxes? We're going to put 2 in each. So how many giraffes are there? Well, we can see now we've got 5 lots of 2. 5 times 2 is 10, isn't it? We know that from our 5 times table. There are 10 giraffes. So pause the video, see if you can have a go at finding out how long the shoe is. So we've got our screw is 3 centimeters long. The shoe is 6 times as long as the screw. So we've got 6 boxes for our shoe. What do you think needs to go in each of the boxes for the shoe? It needs to be a 3, doesn't it? So we can see there we've got 6 lots of 3. 6 times 3, 18 centimeters long. We have the same idea here. This time I've not completed the bar model for you. You've got to fill in the numbers yourself. Have a go. Okay, hopefully the bar model helped. Ron's got £4, so we can put his 4 in there. Sam's got 3 times more than Ron. So what's going to go in each of the boxes for Sam? It's going to be a 4, isn't it? Then we can see 3 lots of 4, 3 times 4. Sam's got £12. Just the same idea, but this time I've not given you any bar model at all. So you have a go at drawing one, and it will really help you find your answer. Okay, so Dexter scores 5 on his test. There he is with 5. Amir scores 5 times more than Dexter. So he's not scored 5, has he, Amir? He's not scored 5 more. He's scored 5 times more. So Amir's not scored 10. He scored 5 times more. So Amir needs 5 boxes. And what's going to go in each of Amir's boxes? 5. So then we can see it's 5 times 5. 5 multiplied by 5, 25. So well done, Amir. A brilliant score there. If you have the worksheet in front of you, you're now ready to have a go at questions 4 to 6, or go back to the BBC Bite-Size website for some more multiplication and division problem-solving questions. There's still more of the video to go, so please come back. So now we're going to think about this idea of times greater and times smaller, just looking at numbers rather than looking at actual problems. So 18 is something times greater than 3. It's not asking us that 18 is something greater than 3. It's not saying let's do 18 subtract 3, so it's 15, because it's not 15 times greater than 3. It's just 15 greater than 3. Let's put a 3 in a box. It's actually asking us this question: how many lots of this 3 do we need to make up to 18? So that's what it's asking. What multiplied by 3 is equal to 18? So that's 1 times 3, isn't it? 3, 2, 3. Are we there yet? Not quite, because 3 lots of 3 is 9. Let's keep going. There we are. 6 lots of 3 is 18. So 18 is 6 times greater than 3. We can put that the opposite way around, the inverse. So if 18 is 6 times greater than 3, how many times smaller than 18 is 3? Well, it's 6 times smaller than 18. Why? Because 18 divided by 3 is equal to 6. Have a go at filling in those. We've got 2 number sentences and 2 English sentences to complete. I've started the bar model for you, but you might need more boxes of 4 to help you. Okay, let's have a look at our bar model first. And it's not complete, is it? Even if we do that, it's not complete because we've got 4 lots of 4 on the bottom there. And is 4 lots of 4 32? No, it's not. So we need to keep going. In fact, we need 4 more lots. How many lots of 4 have we got there? We've got 8. So 32 is 8 times greater than 4 because 8 times 4 is 32. So 4 must be 8 times smaller than 32 because 32 divided by 4 is equal to 8. I've not given you a bar model there for that question. It's the same 4 questions, but no bar model. But please draw a bar model. I think that will really help. What have we got for this answer? So we've got 35 is 7 times greater than 5 because 7 times 5 is 35. So 5 is 7 times smaller than 35 because 35 divided by 5 is equal to 7. If you've got the worksheet, you're now ready to tackle the last 2 questions or have a last look back at the BBC Bite-Size website for this style of question.
Okay, so you've got questions 1 to 6 here. So have a go at these, and I understand it's got pictures and things. If you'd like to have a go at drawing it in your book to help you, that's absolutely fine. But if there are ones where you can't do it in your book, that's fine, just leave it. But do still have a look at the answers and see how it was worked out, okay? So pause the video now so you can have a go at these, and then when you're ready to check your answers, press play and have a look at those. Okay, so here are the answers, guys. Have a look through. Remember, if you've got something wrong, do not stress, but try and have a look and see where it is you've gone wrong. Okay, well done, guys.